Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Thriving despite automation. Yeah, and I did that video about automation and what to do about it, and during the video I threw out some things as far as what people need to do to survive the coming automation. And I wanted to get a little bit more into that with this video. See, here's the thing. You know what? They can have driverless cars, taxis as you will. They can have the buses. They can have the manufacturing of stuff. The manufacturing of cars by robots working in houses. Here's the and this is something I said in the last video. Or I alluded to about, people already preparing. Remember, when one thing goes down, something else goes up. Because there's an element to all of this that people aren't really talking about. And that's the human element. And that's where the key to thriving despite the machines. Because there are just some things that the machines cannot do. Several areas we can get into. And that really hit me when I was at the gym the other day. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I've been slacking, so I'm just getting back into working out. And one thing about me, just as an aside, sometimes I do that because sometimes I get bored with working out, so I might take like a few weeks off and then I can get fired up, take a few weeks off, do some, eat a lot of scrimp, stuff like that, and then go hard into working out. Kind of like a boxer, I'll put on some weight and then drop it real quick. But anyway, right? When you look at the human element, which really hit me while I was at the gym, it's, the machines, though they might improve monetarily the lives of the people who own those machines cannot improve the human being, him or herself. I want y'all to think about that. Now, when I was at the gym, you had a lot of folks there. They were there losing weight, toning up, doing whatever they do. And that's just on a physical level. Businesses, jobs that deal with any type of human development will always be there. And especially with the body, because one thing, let's just use that working out element, that active element. One thing, people who might be familiar with the retail industry, they'll tell you the biggest sellers are sportswear. When you look at companies like Nike and Under Armour, they're making hand over fist. And yeah, the clothes are made in third world countries, and there's an argument that those clothes can be made by robots or something, but they are still used by people who are getting more into active lifestyles, because one of the issues is, especially in Western culture, we're putting on too much weight. And despite people who try to promote fat acceptance, is not healthy. Which leads to another thing, the health field. One of my commentators said there are robots performing operations now. Okay, well, what about health maintenance? There's a whole lot of businesses, side businesses, that just deal with health maintenance. And that's even tied to the fitness industry. And those are just two things, like improving the human body, maintaining the human body. And then just on a third level, just personal development, just the mind thing. And I haven't checked the statistics for it, but I'm willing to bet, just because it's kind of the industry I'm in, just education. A lot of people just need to know how to do stuff, and not just that, K through 12 education, but just continuing education. In fact, the whole personal development industry, that's really big among people who are success minded. Indeed, if you look at many success-minded people, they will read more books on self-development and have libraries on different aspects of self-development than they will spend time in front of the television. And that's there. And see, the thing is, people say, well, I don't want to be a health professional, and I don't want to be a personal trainer, and I can't write success books. But see, here's the thing. Every industry creates several side industries. It's always, if you really look at any industry, it creates several other things. Like, for example, another industry, the beauty industry. And that's something, and especially in the black community, I pay a lot of attention to that, especially the natural hair care industry. A single, say a woman, because it's dominated by women, right? Say a woman decides she's a hairdresser, right? But she decides she wants to do several things. She decides she wants to do hair shows. She wants to maybe design jewelry for natural hair, which there is some products, a bunch of personal care products. There are so many things that maybe one thing leads to maybe 10 other things just to support that industry. In fact, years ago, I remember I had something, and I would have to find this buried among the millions of papers I have all over the place, right? And it was talking about how someone being a writer can generate maybe 20 odd other jobs. And that's powerful. And see, that's not affected by automation. Well, it's affected by it as far as maybe, machines creating books on demand or something like that. But you still need those writers. And that creates opportunities for editors. That creates opportunities for people good at marketing, social media experts. Because what's happening overall, what the machines are really doing, and we have to look at automation. I mean, yeah, it's a problem, but we have to look at it, these machines as tools. That's all they are. And what's happening is it's forcing us to develop other aspects of ourselves. See, once upon a time, a lot of people were dependent on those manufacturing jobs for their living. They were dependent on a lot of the stuff that's now being automated. Now, we could sit back and say, oh, woe is me, and, what I'm going to do. Or we can evolve. We can start using our minds. We can get into these other industries that's not touched to the same extent by automation. Like even like a big thing is media, or even listening to this podcast. One of the reasons I personally started doing podcasts, because at first I didn't. I was just purely on books. I was just peeping that like most people. I'm a holdout though. I got a cheap phone, so I don't be in my phone. But people have some type of device they have their face buried in. Now that's a problem in itself on another level, which I might get into in another video, because it's limiting human contact in such a way. But all of those devices need content. So people are it's becoming lucrative for people to provide some type of content. and that content can be on anything. See, it creates more, and even with the stuff I'm doing, and y'all see in a few weeks, I got some stuff that's actually creating jobs otherwhere for other folks, because everything creates something for something else. And the machines, really, we can't let the machines control us. And see, well, as I said, I was going to expand. Let me get into some political commentary. Well, social, political, economic commentary. People in my real inner circle, my tiny subculture, as you will, we refer to Western culture as the machine culture. Because when you think about it, people serve the machines and not the other way around. How many people out there listening to the sound of my voice they not really working for themselves? They working to pay for their car, that machine. Okay, you can argue that the house isn't a machine, but you paying for the machines in there. You paying a lot for those devices. So who's serving who? And see, we have to understand it needs to be the other way around. These things need to serve us. And the key is to just expand how we're thinking and to just look into other areas. Now, many of those people who will no longer be getting those manufacturing jobs or maybe even those fast food jobs, who's to say that person could be a content creator, or that person might develop some type of ideas that would help with someone's personal development, or they could maybe get into fitness industry, or maybe even create maybe some type of exercise machine, because I see that a lot. Maybe it's time for some of these people to get their minds going in another direction, because ultimately that's what's going to have to happen. Evolution. And it's being forced. Now, just some stuff, because I don't want to get into a list of what to do, because ultimately, no matter what list I give, and I threw out some stuff, no matter what list I give, it's still limited by my viewpoints, what my skills are. Like, my skills have always been more of an intellectual nature anyway, so that's where I'm a focus. But then somebody else might have something totally different, or somebody listening, they could be a blue collar type of cat, a plumber, and they listening and say, well, shoot, somebody's pipes are always going to leak. And ain't no damn robot going to be twisting and turning behind that toilet under that sink to fix that leak. And speaking of fixing, here's the thing about all these machines. Here's the one thing about them. They can still break down. Somebody still has to repair them. So, even in that, there are jobs. There are careers. You still, and there's more than a few people getting into those fields where they will not only fix those machines but program them, and that's important too, and that's still a mental thing. But we still have to expand and just understand. Just keep the mindset of we're not going to serve the machine culture, but the machines will serve us. So no matter what, we have to think in terms of thriving. So anyway, that's it for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.